Hello everyone, are you a woman out there who has irregular periods and have been finding it difficult to calculate your fertile period and even to know your ovulation day? Then this is for you. It can be very tricky and very difficult to be able to calculate your fertile period if you are having an irregular period. But guess what? It is not impossible. We'll give you a guiding steps on how to calculate your fertile period if you have an irregular cycle. This is Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Nuela, where we tell you all about pregnancy and other women related health issues. If these are the kind of content you like to watch, don't forget, click on that subscription button and the notification bell so that you're going to be the first to receive any video that we upload. Let's go. Welcome back to Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Nuela. Yeah, before we get deep into how to calculate, you have to be sure that you even have an irregular cycle. Now, the normal menstrual cycle should range from 21 days to 35 days. I hope when I'm talking about the menstrual cycle, you understand. If you don't understand, please click on the link above and you can watch the full description of how to know your menstrual cycle. I gave a detailed video on that. Please don't forget to click on it after and watch how to calculate your menstrual cycle. So if you have a cycle that ranges from 21 days to 35 days, so you might have a cycle of 25 days, you might have a cycle of 22 days, you might have a cycle of 33 days, of 34 days, it is normal and you have a regular cycle. But when you have a cycle where from the menses to the next menses, it is less than 21 days or it is longer than 35 days, here we can see that you have an irregular cycle. It's very important that you take note of this, because if you had a regular cycle before, for example, if you had 33-day cycle, every time your menses comes after 33 days, that you calculate for a period of 3 months and you see that every after 33 days my menses comes. Then out of a sudden you start seeing your period after 35 days, like you start seeing after 36 days, next time is after 40 days, next time is after 45 days, you see. And in this case, your cycle has changed from the normal one. Or you might be having a 30-day cycle, a 25-day cycle, but out of a sudden you start having your menses coming after 20 days, after 19 days, after 2 weeks. There it means there might be a problem. Once that change occurs, it's important that you consult immediately. Like I always tell all women, if you have your cycle that normally flows for 3 days, your flow rate is normally 3 days, and you start having a cycle that flows, or you start having a flow that goes to 5 days, 6 days, then there is a problem, because there are people that their normal flow right from the beginning is 6 days. All the time that they bleed is 6 days. It is normal for them. They have no problem. You see here that you don't have to compare with any other person. Everybody's cycle is different. So if they have a flow rate of 3 days and all the time is 3 days, even if it reaches the 6 days, which is a normal flow rate, it is a problem. So once you discover any change in your menstrual cycle, consult a medical doctor immediately, please. There might be an underlying pathology which has to be investigated. Now we can see these irregular cycles as well in two stages which are usually common, like in cases of puberty, when your menses just starts, when you start seeing your period, remember that your hormones are not yet really balanced. So it might lead to irregular cycles till within a period of 2 years. It should be normalized. It should come back to normal and you start seeing it regularly. Once you see this during puberty, you just saw your period, your first time seeing your period, and the next month it skips, it takes a longer time. Yes, it's normal, because there's this what they call anovulation, because you're not ovulating frequently. Then you can see it again at the end towards menopause. When you're almost going to menopause, you start seeing that you have skipped menses because the eggs are getting finished and you don't ovulate often like before. So these periods you can have irregular cycles and it might be normal. But once you start seeing your period and it is regular and it becomes irregular, make sure you consult. But at the end, if you start having irregular periods, because there are people who have their periods which are normally irregular above 35 days, then this formula is for you. And if you have calculated and seen that you have an irregular cycle, this is what you should do. First thing is, in people who have regular cycles, what happens is you have to calculate for a 3 month period. But if you have irregular cycle, you have to calculate for a 6 month period to have at least the common days. Now, if you have to calculate for a 6 month period, the first time you see your period, you see that it goes to 36 days. This is already above 35. Another time it might go to 30, 37. Another time it might even reduce down to 25. Another time it might even go to 30. You see here, when the difference is usually more than 7 days between your period, even if you have like a 21-day cycle and the next time you tend to have a 30 or 33-day cycle, you can also consider that as an irregular cycle because it goes more than 7 days from your average cycle. When it goes that too, it can also be considered as an irregular cycle. Now when we have something like this, we have 37, we have 25 days. So in this month you can have 36, another month you have 37, another month you have 25, another time you have 30 days, maybe another time it goes to 28. So we have, if we are taking for 6 months, this is like 5 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it can be in a period of 6 months. We have this, and if we want to see it will even be more than 6 months. If we have to calculate this, it has elapsed 6 months. Now if we have these 5 cycles in front of us and we want to calculate your fertile period, how do you do it? You take the shortest day. This is a standard. You take, they say, the shortest day, the shortest cycle, you subtract 18 from it. These 18 are standard values. Then the longest cycle, we subtract 11 from it. We subtract 11 from it. Now if we have this, what do we say? What is our shortest cycle here? We have 25. 25 is the shortest cycle. 25 minus the shortest cycle is 18, and the longest cycle here is 37. So we're going to say 37 minus 11. So what are our answers here? We have here 25 minus 18. What do we have? Is 7. So we have 7. Then we have 26. Therefore, if you have this type of cycle, when is your fertile period? Your fertile period is going to last from day 7 to day 26. So you see here that day 7 to day 26, that is your fertile window. Now you might want to ask, when is the ovulation day exactly? Because from here, within this 7 to the day 26, you should be trying to get pregnant. You should be using that window. Any of those days, your ovulation might occur. You see here that it's long. But there are other things that you should consider in people who have irregular cycles. Consider is one, the cervical mucus. That is your cervical secretions. Here, when you start seeing the sticky and transparent vaginal or cervical secretion, then you can start saying that that is their ovulation day. At times too, they do what they call the basal body temperature. So in addition to your calculation, it's good to add this in mind, to associate it with this. Once you associate it with this, we have the basal body temperature. It's expected that your temperature should rise during ovulation. If taken constantly at a particular time in the morning, it might increase by 0.5 to 1 degree Celsius. So maybe your normal body temperature is 37, it might increase to 37.5 or 38 only that time during ovulation. But tracking this sometimes is usually difficult. So if you have like your cycle and you have the days, once you also study your cervical mucus, it can help you. But if you start having things like vaginal discharges and offensive vaginal discharges as well, lower abdominal pains, then you should consult, because this as well can affect the cervical mucus and you might not know when ovulation has started. If this was helpful, don't forget to share with other women, your sister, your friends, your loved ones, and to your wife, so that she can be able to know how to calculate her fertile period if she has an irregular cycle. But if you still want to have a one-on-one consultation with me, don't forget to click on the link below and book for a consultation, and you will get to me one-on-one. Thank you very much, and God bless you.